StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई affordable.
Dear students, we'll take up the next case study in the series that you have been discussing. This would be case study number 16, and today we are going to take up an interesting case study that has been asked in Civil Service Examination 2023. In fact, this is directly related to the values and the features of civil service in our country. What a bureaucrat as a civil servant, tomorrow when you become a civil servant, whether you should do this or not do this. Two important things that you are going to discuss here. One is civil services anonymity, and second thing is civil services neutrality. Now, these are all the characteristic feature of the Indian civil service. When you talk of civil services anonymity, as per the value system in our country, it says that the civil servant should work from behind the curtain. They should not look for any popularity. All that they have to do is they have to do their job properly and give a sincere advice to the politicians. And that is basically what is called as civil services anonymity. So this is a case which tries to understand, UPSC is trying to understand whether the students are aware of what is called as civil services anonymity. And then the second thing is civil services neutrality. So what is the civil services neutrality? So civil services neutrality means, as a civil servant, are we neutral? Are we taking sides with the politicians? Or we are having alignment towards the ideology of one political party or the another? Unfortunately, today at the higher levels, even the civil servants tend to do away with the civil services neutrality so that they can get appointed in the higher positions. But yes, as one of the values in the civil service is that as a civil servant, we have to be neutral. And there is also a saying that the ministers might come and go, but the civil servant remains. And as a civil servant, we have to be neutral. We have to give a sincere advice to the political masters. So the entire case study is revolving around the civil service values. So let us try to understand as to what this particular case is all about. This is Babu Gunashekaran. I also secured an IAS rank in Civil Service Examination 2016. Alright, so let us move forward. Let us try to understand very quickly what this case is all about. And then once we understand as to what this case is all about, we will also have an understanding of what is exactly asked in this particular question. Now this case is about a government officer, and his name is Vinod. Now Vinod is a very sincere, straightforward officer. And then Vinod is recently appointed as the managing director of State Road Transport Corporation. And it is very clear in the case study that because he is very sincere and honest, and he has also been frequently transferred. As per the case study, he has been transferred at least 6 times in the last 3 years. So you can understand that one of the consequences of being straightforward is that he has been frequently transferred. And Vinod, on taking charge of this particular transport corporation, he come across a lot of financial irregularities, and he finds that the chairman of this particular board, who is a politician, a very powerful politician in fact, and he is also very close to the chief minister of that particular state, and he is the one who is doing all these financial irregularities. And at the same time, when he is coming across all these things, a member of the board who is from the opposition party, and the member of the board approaches Vinod, and that member gives certain proofs to Vinod, and which could be used against the chairman, where he has engaged in financial irregularities. And especially the chairman was trying to speed up the process of settling the payment to one of the vendors who is supplying tires to the corporation, State Road Transport Corporation, which is named as QMR tires. Now, and the member is also giving some proof regarding this against the chairman to Vinod. And Vinod could also recollect something that yes, the chairman was trying to speed up the process of making all the payments to QMR tires. Although he is not very clear, but he could correlate something as per the case study. And then after hearing all these information, now Vinod is asking the member that why could you do this? Because you anyways have the proof and you are from opposition party. Why don't you take advantage of this? Or why don't you do your job? Because it could also help you. So this is how Vinod is trying to confront the member. But the member is saying, no, I wanted you to do this because it could give a boost to you in terms of your public image. And the second thing that he is saying is that if you do this, and there are chances which is very high that we can win the election because this member is from opposition party, we'll also do a favor to you. So that means the two things that I have discussed here is classically related in this particular case. One is whether the civil servant work for public image, whether he should do something just because that will boost his image among the public. Does he have to violate the civil services anonymity? And then the second thing is he have to take a stand with a political party? Does he have to side with a political party thinking that when this political party comes to power that they can do something to me in favor? Or it is normally his job to remain neutral and to perform his duty. So now this is exactly what is running in the mind of Vinod. So Vinod also knew that if he is doing something, there is a possibility that he may be penalized for that by the present government and the present chairman, who is very powerful because of his links with the chief minister. But he also understands it is his duty to rectify the wrong things. If there are financial irregularities, irrespective of the problem that he might face, he has to rectify those things. And the second thing, he is also thinking that the politician may also use him. He has to verify the records first. And also, he is also aware of the fact that civil services neutrality is very important, and he should not think of favoring them just because that they can do, the political party, if they win the election, the opposition party, if they win the election, they could do him some favor. Now, all these things are running in the mind of Vinod. So, as a honest, as a civil servant who has got the values and the aptitude for civil service, what Vinod is supposed to do? So under this particular circumstances, let us try to understand as to what is the directives that is given in this particular question. So what is the first directive? So directive is what we'll have to actually answer in this particular question. As a consignee civil servant, a consignee civil servant is one who has got all the proper value system. Evaluate the options available to Vinod. So what are the various possible options that Vinod can take? And to evaluate it. So whether it is, to what extent it is right, what are the pros and cons of such options. So that's the first directive that you have to do. And then the second thing is, in the light of the above case, comment upon the ethical issues that may arise due to the politicization of bureaucracy. So in general, you'll have to understand that if the bureaucracy is politicized, what could be the possible implications? And in fact, the civil service should not be politicized. That is why one of the feature of the Indian civil service is that civil services neutrality. But do we follow civil services neutrality? That is another question. But the question is trying to assess as to what could be the issues, ethical issues of not having civil services neutrality. That also we should analyze. So whenever you read a particular case study, just try to understand what could be the larger theme where this entire case study is revolved around. That could, although it is not asked in the question, that could help you to analyze and to understand and to write the answers better. So in this case is classically related to two important topics. One is civil services values, that as a civil servant, what are the values that we have to have? As a civil servant, we should not only be dedicated to our public service, but we should also maintain anonymity, we should maintain neutrality in our civil service. And then, of course, the ethical concerns and dilemmas in a government service. What Vinod has to do in this particular case? He has to align with a political party, or he has to do that just because it will boost his public morale, he has to boost his public image, he has to bring this financial irregularities to the public, or just it is his duty to do all those things. And if he does that, what could be the possible consequences? So whether to do it or not to do it, if to do it and for what reason he is to do it, if not to do it, for what reason he is not supposed to do this. So these are all various ethical dilemmas that he may also undergo. So ethical concerns and dilemmas in the case in the government service is also a subject matter related to this particular area. Of course, quickly you can have idea about the stakeholders also, because understanding the stakeholder will help you to take appropriate action. A good option would be that you try to address the various issues to various stakeholders. You try to balance the interest of various stakeholders by doing the right thing legally, by doing the right thing ethically. So the stakeholders you see here, it is Vinod himself, the board members and the chairman, the employees of the organization, because if something goes wrong, it can affect the employees also. The general public, because it is a public money which is leading to the financial irregularities. And of course, the government, it is all functioning under the government ecosystem, so overall government. So these are all the various stakeholders in this particular case. So now what are the options that Vinod can take in this particular case? That is what quickly we have to understand. But before we understand all those things, a small announcement. StudyIQ has launched its new foundation batch. This new foundation prelims to interview batch for the month of October. So what is new about this foundation batch, which to some extent is little different from the previous batches, is that now the batches are provided with different validity, which means the course duration is for different time for different students, depending upon what they opt for at the time of purchasing the course. So there is a course which is available for 18 months, course available for 30 months, course available for long duration, that is 42 months. So depending upon where you are, which stage of preparation, when you are planning to give a preparation, you can opt any of these courses. And you can see the course fee for different courses, and these courses are available in different languages as well. And whichever language you are comfortable, you can opt for those courses. And to get more information, apart from these things, a lot of other unique features of these courses, including the mains residential program and all those things, you can go to the StudyIQ website, get to know more about these courses. And all these courses are likely to commence from 10th of October 2023. And all these courses would be online courses, online live courses. And the courses that is going to begin on 10th of October would be evening batches. The classes will commence from 6 p.m. in the evening till 9 p.m. in the evening. And to get an additional discount on any of these courses, you can use my code Babulai. Okay, so let us just proceed further and let us try to understand as to what are the various options as a consigned tier civil servants, what options possibly that Vinod could take. So we will discuss few options, but my sincere suggestion is that you don't have to restrict yourself only to these options. Think of more options. If you feel that there is a better option, you can put that option in the comment box also, so that others can also know about it and there can be further discussion on all these things. So given this particular case, what could be the possible options? So as a consigned tier civil servant, this is very important. So whatever is the options that you take, it should be as a consigned tier civil servant. So there could be some option which is not appropriate, but mostly you should go for the appropriate options. So evaluate the options as well. So the first thing is, Vinod may ignore this matter as it appears to have a political angle and you don't wish to politicize this particular matter. So Vinod is thinking that there is also a possibility that he could be used by the politicians. And as a consigned tier civil servant, that you should follow civil services neutrality and you don't want to get into something which is political in nature, and hence you can stay away from the entire thing. That's a good thing, staying away from the entire thing. But if you evaluate this option, the bad part is because Vinod himself have understood that there are financial irregularities. As a managing director, he has to take care of the financial irregularities. So if he's staying away, then he's not taking care of the public money which has been misused here. So that is not very ethical. That is not ethical here. So this option cannot be the best option. Okay, option number 2. After verifying the authenticity and the credibility of the proof, that means the member is giving him some proof against the chairman. So he is just trying to verify the authenticity and the credibility of the proof. And after verifying that, Vinod may forward the proof to the media, as it will give publicity to him and at the same time prevent the financial irregularities. Okay, so here what he is trying to do, first he is trying to verify so that he is not used by the politician. He is trying to verify the records, and if he finds that the proof is credible enough, then he is forwarding to the media so that there could be a lot of pressure upon the government and it could also boost his public image. But what is unethical about this? We talk about what is called as civil services anonymity. Now, even if Vinod has to take an action, Vinod should not forward this to the media. This is not the way of doing it. There are internal mechanisms by which you can start an inquiry, forward it to the competent authority, forward that to the vigilance office. That's the way of taking up as a civil servant. You cannot forward that directly to the media, which you are going beyond the system. And hence, here it would be legally and ethically wrong on the part of Vinod if he does that. It also provides a scope for Vinod's benefit when the opposition party comes to power. Yes, of course, if it goes to the media, Vinod may have some benefit because there can be a lot of dent on the image of the ruling party. There's a possibility that the opposition party could win. And when the opposition party wins, then there can be benefit to Vinod, but this goes against the very principle of civil services neutrality. So to me, this is also not the appropriate action. So this is also ethically wrong, but although yes, there can be a pressure against the chairman who is misusing the funds, but this is not the right way to do it. Okay, so again, this is not the best option. Come to option number 3. Vinod may ask the board members to give formal complaint and take it forward through proper channel. So what he is saying is, he is asking the board member who is giving the proof, why don't you write a formal complaint? And I'll take up the formal complaint through the proper channel. So he's not going to the media, and he is not trying to take advantage that it will boost his public image, or he is not trying to have better connection with the political parties. He is professionally telling that, okay, give a complaint to me, I'll take it forward through proper channel. This also seems to be a good option. But one of the drawback is, what if the member is not giving a complaint? So is he going to take it up? Even if the member is not giving the complaint, still it is also the responsibility of Vinod, provided he has got the proof, to take action and to prevent the mismanagement of the money. Not just the mismanagement, mishandling and the corrupt activities that is happening right now. So although this is a good option, but is that the best option? We'll see option number 4. After verifying the authenticity of the proof, with or without a formal complaint from the board member, Vinod can initiate an inquiry following the proper channel, neither fearing of the repercussions nor expecting any benefit in return. Now, the only thing that is there in the Vinod's mind in this case, the last case, is that, okay, he has got the proof. So he is trying to verify this particular proof. And if he finds that, yes, the proofs are genuine enough, whether the member writes a complaint or not, he is initiating suo moto. On his own, he is taking up the complaint, and through proper process, he is carrying out the investigation. Here he is not worried about the repercussions from the ruling party, or he is not thinking about the benefit he may get from the opposition party if they win the election, or he is not trying to boost his public image. All that he is trying to do is, he is trying to do his job as per his conscience and as per the law of the land. So I would say that this would be the most appropriate option that Vinod can do under the present circumstances as a conscientious civil servant, as a civil servant who is honest. Okay, you can think of other options also. You can put it in the comment box, and that could add more debate to this particular case study and add value to the case study series that you are doing. Now come to the next directive that is given in the question. In the light of the above case, comment upon the ethical issues that may arise due to the politicization of bureaucracy. So if at all there is politicization of bureaucracy, what could be the possible ethical issues? What could be the possible problem that will happen? In fact, politicization of bureaucracy is a very dangerous thing. Politicization of bureaucracy could lead to a lot of problems in civil service. That is why the founding fathers of the civil service have made sure that there should be no politicization of bureaucracy. But unfortunately, today it is happening at the highest level. But at least theoretically, the politicization of bureaucracy is not a right thing. But what are the ethical issues? If there is politicization of bureaucracy, then there will be a trust deficit between political and the permanent executives. Because whenever one government comes, they will have their own set of officers. So what will happen with the other officers? The other officers will not trust them. And when the next government comes, they will not trust the previous officers appointed by the previous government. So this trust deficit is not good, because the civil servant or continue to be civil servant for a long period of time. The government will change in a democratic country, but the civil servants will remain. And as long as they remain, they have to perform their jobs in a neutral manner. So that's very, very important. Okay. So this is the major issue that you have got. And then of course, it erodes the civil service values. Some of the civil service values like honesty, integrity. Suppose if you have good relations with the political bosses and you are not doing your job according to your conscience and as per the established rules, and because of the connections that you have established, sometimes you may have to compromise on the values. So it may lead to ultimately the compromise on the values as well. It affects the morale and the developmental process. Now, people may be appointed just because of the political connections at the highest level and not because of the merit. And if the appointments are happening not because of the merit and because of the political nexus, then it will affect the people who are meritorious, and if they are really not getting the deserving positions, so their morale will go down. And of course, if the deserving people are not occupying the highest positions, and if it is not based on merit, that could affect the developmental process of our country as well. So very dangerous situation. So we'll have to avoid that. And then this political nexus and politicization of bureaucracy can also perpetuate, it can bring in a lot of political bias and corruption into the system, which is very dangerous. Today at the highest level, it might be possible that there is a lot of political nexus and connection irrespective of the government, and that could lead to a lot of corrupt activities, and hence politicization of bureaucracy is a very, very dangerous thing. And in fact, it is because of that particular reason, as a part of the civil services values in our country, anonymity and civil services neutrality has been given utmost importance. Okay, and when you clear the civil services, when you go to your training academies, especially when you go to Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration and to the other academies also, as a part of your initial training, you will all be trained to make sure that you remain anonymous, and also you maintain the neutrality during your course of service. So this will also be important during your training. Okay, so with that we end this particular case study. If you want the PPT of this particular case study, you can get it from my Telegram channel, that is Babu Gunashekaran 337, and also do not miss out on the important current affairs question that I put in my channel. Thank you very much for watching this particular case study, and if you have any suggestions upon improving this case study, you can put that in the comment box. If you have any ideas with regard to the other options, you can put that in the comment box. If you like this video, you can also share it with your friends. Thank you very much again for watching this particular video. All the very best. God bless.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।